group if we, okay.
Thank you for sharing with what you do for Gateway. I think that's phenomenal service to provide to the community and for our state. And definitely in the last couple of years, mental health, something that I think is more a part of a normal conversation. So I'm liking to see where that's going in that direction. So you'll have to pardon me. I'm a little not myself today. I lost a friend this morning. He had muscular dystrophy. He made it to 40. He lived a really good life. He was supposed to get out in like a day or two, so this is kind of a surprise this morning. But he's also been a big supporter with what we've done with Best Buddies, and so he'd be happy that I'm still out here sharing our mission of inclusion. Sorry. All right, so my name is Ryan Lacoste. I'm a husband, father. I am a part of the Illinois Board of Trustees for Delta Chi at ISU. I have a Special Olympics powerlifting team on the Central Illinois Autism Association board, downtown Peoria Rotary, and also host monster truck shows on weekends. Formerly the host for Monster Jam on Fox Sports 1. So I've had a really awesome career, and I've met some really amazing people around the world, especially folks and families with disabilities. I also have a son on the autism spectrum. So there are lots of reasons why I really love Best Buddies' mission and helping people with disabilities live their best lives every day. So we have 5 pillars, 3 that are in Central Illinois, and we'll get to that in a second, but we're the largest organization dedicated to ending the social, physical, and economic isolation of the 200 million people worldwide with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Our programs empower people with IDD to form meaningful friendships with their peers, secure jobs, improve communication and advocacy skills, live independently, while also offering support for their families. And there's Tom Brady. If you ever go to an event where Tom Brady is at, he throws out footballs. It's at a gala. If you catch it, that's a $5,000 donation. So just let it go if you don't want it. But, you know, don't catch someone else's football. I've heard people get real mad about that too. We're a 501c3 dedicated to establishing a global volunteer movement. So volunteers in all aspects of the meaning of that word with what we do. Creating opportunities for one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, inclusive living, and family support for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And when we say IDD for short, that's all intellectual and developmental disabilities. Could be autism, muscular dystrophy. There isn't one that we won't allow to be a part of our organization. And then we have these 5 pillars, 2 that are newer, and 3 that are in our state. So we currently don't have inclusive living, although I think ISU would be a great reason, and I can share why in a little bit. Family support is in its pilot stage right now, so it's in 5 states. I would assume it'll be coming to Illinois very soon. But we do have one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, and leadership development, all which are here in McLean County as well as in Champaign. We're growing in Springfield, Peoria. We even have some friendship chapters down in the Carbondale area. And when I say Central Illinois, we're everything south of I-80 essentially. There's a Chicago office and then our office, and so it kind of blurs along the highway a little bit, but essentially we're one Best Buddies in Illinois. We're in all 50 states. We're also in like 51 or 52 countries around the world. So in now 36 years, Best Buddies has really been able to flourish. And the second ever one-to-one friendship chapter, founded in 1989 in Georgetown University, someone went from that school to Illinois State University and started the second longest friendship chapter. So there's a lot of history for Best Buddies, not only in the growth of the mission and awareness, but just having that initial second ever friendship chapter is pretty cool. In elementary, middle school, we get kids with and without disabilities together, and we participate in the same activities, make sure everyone's included, have very gentle discussions about disability awareness, but just making sure everybody is included. And, you know, what does it mean to be a good friend to you? Those are questions we ask these kids. In high school, college, and then into adult life called Citizens, that's where people with and without a disability can be matched more into a one-to-one friendship based on similar interests. So if you like reading, we would match you hopefully with somebody that you feel have a good relationship with, a good kind of starting point, but also some similar interests because that's extremely important. So some of the other chapters include Normal Community, Normal West. We've been in Bloomington High School. Obviously, after the pandemic, some things changed for everybody. But that's one way that this group can help. Maybe you know a teacher or an advisor or an administrator at a school, and you think that what we're doing is really awesome. If you can introduce me to that person, we can then start having that conversation about a Best Buddies Friendship chapter in every school in McLean County. And then there's e-buddies. Sometimes people don't want to meet in person. There are, anxiety is a real thing. Also, someone with a disability may not have that social integration, so they're a little bit nervous about meeting people for the first time. So e-buddies gives them an opportunity to be correspond with somebody from another state that wants to be friendly to them and chat about their life and get to know them. We have integrated and competitive employment. So that's a Jersey Mike's picture. Not sure if you've seen any of the Jersey Mike's commercials lately supporting Best Buddies over the weekend. If you ate there, thank you. 20% of that purchase is being donated to Best Buddies throughout the country. And so with our jobs program, we help people with disabilities who first want to work. You have to want to work before we will take you into our program as a person with a disability. From there, we'll get to know that person, where their skills lie, and also try to help them find a job in something that they're interested in. We would never bring somebody with a disability to come work at your business just because we want to make that happen. We really do, but it needs to be inclusive, they need to be supported, and there needs to be an opportunity for success. And they also have to bring something to the table for your business because we want you to be happy and we want this person to succeed. So through resume building, skills building, sitting with the business or the employer to help them understand some of the nuances of hiring a person with a disability and how we can help support both people throughout that career. And then maybe down the road, they want to raise, they want to grow in their job. We'll help support that with them. And then any questions that maybe an employer might have wanting to do a disability awareness session with staff, talking for 32 minutes to an hour about the importance of inclusion, helping support people with disabilities, and just general ways for your employees to maybe get more comfortable about how they communicate with people with disabilities. We can infantilize people with disabilities as adults. We can make assumptions that maybe they can't make decisions for themselves. And so we help break down some of those barriers when it comes to working with people with disabilities who are ultimately people and families that utilize a lot of what your businesses have to offer. And so the more inclusive we can make this entire community, the more everyone really flourishes. With our leadership development program, what we call ambassadors, really, it's giving people with disabilities the stage and the microphone and letting them tell their story, letting them share their message. I have ADHD, so I'm technically neurodivergent, and I've also presented in front of thousands of people. So I really love what this offers for people who want to get up there and share that message of inclusion or why people with disabilities should be taken more seriously in our communities. For instance, Jack Mayer is an ambassador in Chicago. He represents ComEd, and he does energy-saving tips that he posts online once a month, and ComEd shares that. So he's an ambassador for that business. Sky's the limit when it comes to what our ambassadors can do, including hosting our events and doing some amazing things to help bring people with disabilities to the forefront of our communities. Our promoters help empower young folks to organize events in the name of inclusion and really try to help bring the disability rights movement to the forefront in their communities. And then in Chicago, we do have our transitions program, a classroom-based training, which starts as kids are getting ready to go into the world and become adults and want jobs and live their lives. So we, with our transitions program, help them explore different careers, but also work on skills needed to be a great employee someday. So inclusive living, if somebody wants to help donate $100,000, we can bring that here today. I do know the right developers. I have a few different of the right pieces in place, but living for Best Buddies is just something that I hadn't found the right donor yet for. It's very awesome. There isn't an RA per se, but there's a Best Buddies staff member who puts together inclusive events, makes sure everybody's kind of connected within the group. And this is kids, I say kids, but adults with and without disabilities living the college experience together. There's a chef. It's really nice. And it actually grew from 5 to 10 colleges in the last month. So a lot of exciting development around our inclusive living program. And it's not necessarily that you're checking on the person next door to make sure that, they're taking their medicine or, taking care of their daily life. You're just friends with that person. With my friend Travis, he needed his tray cleaned sometimes. This is something I would do. I would do those things for my friends like you would. And so it's a fun opportunity. And then finally, Uni's Buddies, which is family support. There are a few different areas where this is going to really help. And that's not only just parents who either have a diagnosis, knowing that they're going to have a child with a disability, maybe like my wife and I, 2.5 years into our son's life, someone mentioned that he showed signs of autism spectrum disorder. And so what Uni's Buddies provides is a network of parents that I would have loved to have had when I kind of found that out. I didn't believe it at first. I didn't like the word autism for a year. My son is completely adaptable and just thriving right now. So I'm very proud of him and hope that this will provide that opportunity for parents who at first you're not sure where to turn, what to do. When we went to Easter Seals, we couldn't get him in time. And then it's like, here are a lot of resources, but then how do you navigate through those different resources? Because you want to try to get an answer or some sort of development as quickly as possible. But the other side of this too is to work with the medical professional network in how they present these diagnoses to moms or parents, especially if you're being handed your child for the first time and the doctor says your child has Down syndrome. Right as it's being handed to you. For somebody who's holding their child for the first time, that can be pretty devastating. It's blunt, it's direct and to the point, and that I understand. But this is just an opportunity for us to have kind of those conversations to find just, again, great ways to support parents who are starting not only a new journey, but a new journey they might not have been prepared for. So some of the things that we get to do include our signature events. So funding comes from things like here in McLean, the 377 Board for Care and Treatment of People with Disabilities. They help fund our jobs program and our employees who are dedicated to this market, helping people with disabilities get jobs through foundations and other opportunities, but our signature events as well. And tentatively, April 26th, 2025, we will be returning to the Corn Crib in Normal for our annual Friendship Walk. This year, we're also going to have one in Springfield and one in Champaign, and it's going to be very, very busy in April and May. But this is an opportunity for, as you can see, our participants to take the stage and to share what makes them happy, what they're proud about, and how there are so many awesome people at this event that just come together in the name of inclusion, from Peoria to U of I to Carbondale. So many different kids, high school, even college students coming together, but seeing not only that they have a chapter, but there are other people like them who feel the same way about supporting people with disabilities. And we've had some great weather recently, so that's been awesome. I hope we can keep that streak up. Also some great food too from, I forget the name of the taco truck right now, but everybody raved about it. And at the end, after the walk, we have karaoke, which is just absolutely inspiring. It just melts my heart every time. You see some people who are generally pretty quiet go all out on stage. We also have what's called Champion of the Year. We have a former mom champion over there. Her daughter, Gianna, was a champion in 2020. That year we raised a little over $40,000. And that was, during COVID. It was a tough time. Fundraising really, owning a business, absolutely difficult. We just had our champion of the year 3 weeks ago, and we raised $190,000. So in 5 years, we've gone from 3 staff to 8. I'm trying to hire one in Springfield right now. If anybody knows anybody in Springfield who's awesome, I would love to talk to them. And we've gone from raising essentially $100,000 in a year to now $450,000. And I see potential for $600 to $700 next year based on some of the different opportunities throughout the rest of Illinois moving south. Because that's really what we need to start doing is growing south. Oh, there he is. There's my man Travis right there. He was a champion the same year as Gianna. And that venue, that morning, they're like, hey, our elevator's broke. And I'm like, well, that's a real big problem. So we don't have parties at that place anymore. But we got Travis upstairs, thanks to the fire department. But you can also see some of our other events. We make sure that we're inclusive with what we do. We have interpreters, we have ramps, and we have all of the things for all of the different intellectual and developmental disabilities. And at our Champion of the Year Gala, Daniel up there, one of our superstar singers during cocktail hour, and then we have a silent disco afterwards. Everyone gets headphones. It's really sensory friendly. You control the volume. It's just silly fun, and I love it. So if you'd like to help get involved and make change happen, some of the different things that maybe you'd like to do, be matched with somebody with an intellectual or developmental disability. If you go to bestbuddies.org/join, you can find the Bloomington Citizens chapter. And I'd really encourage you to check that out. And these are people with disabilities that have grown up, essentially. And now we try to match people around the same age, too, so that helps. If you're looking to hire someone, maybe you don't have the perfect position for somebody, but we can carve out something to take 7, 8, and 9 off of a few of your staff's plates that just aren't getting done every week, so they can focus on the more important priorities for your business. But that leadership development, join us at one of our ambassador events, meet people with disabilities, help them write speeches. Maybe that's something we could do on one of your Monday events. I know there are a lot of people who would love to do that. If you'd like to help me with my signature events, I'm looking for Rockstar committee members. I've done a lot of this on my own with these friendship walks, and I've got a few folks who have really been dedicated to helping me get to these goals. But I don't want to say desperate, but I'm actively searching for just great people who want to help spread Best Buddies' mission and message in the area. And again, April 26th, Corn Crib. Next year, 2025, October 25th is our Champion of the Year Gala. And I'd love for you to be able to join us for that. Or partnering for the Friendship Walk. You can join us, fundraise in so many different ways, including joining the committee to help us just get more people to this event, which is 700-800 people just celebrating in the name of inclusion. I've had the world's only wheelchair accessible ride monster truck as entertainment in the past. We have free food and all sorts of fun activities. And if anything, I would love to see you there so that way you can get more of an idea of what Best Buddies is outside of just what I've been able to share. I think I'm almost done here. Okay, so to kind of put a button on this, there is a video, and I'll send it so she can share with the rest of the group. About 7 or 8 years ago, Marcus Jackson walked up to me at a school I was volunteering at, all kids with disabilities. He goes, "You're Ryan Lacoste." I'm like, "Hey, I am. How do you know?" And he's like, I love Monster Jam. I want to be the first black man with autism to drive Max D someday. Max D is a very specific, decorated monster truck. I was like, well, let's just see if we can get you in one. So 2 years ago, Marcus won Champion of the Year. And the people who bought the auction item for $20,000 go, we want him to drive it. So last year, we got him the whole 9 yards. Photo shoot. The link is from WTVP. We really went the whole 9 yards for Marcus. And that's him launching over a van right there in that monster truck. So we're going all the way in for inclusion. And I hope that you'll all consider joining or supporting in some ways. And thank you to past support and champions, and I look forward to getting to know all of you a little bit better, and hopefully we can just make McLean the place to be for families with disabilities.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You can stay up here, and
Yep.
I'll go ahead and bring Sandra back up,
Oh.
and then if you guys have any questions for the two of them.
Yeah, I can do that.